Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kickoff. I've got here with me a friend of mine, Tom Allott. Hello, mate.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well.
I think we are both very excited today because we are here to talk about the World Cup. It is the best tournament in terms of Rugby Union.
100%. No, thank you for having me on. I appreciate the message when you dropped me the message the other day. It was a nice surprise. I thought, I want to chat about the World Cup.
As we saw, all over the media, I think it's the World Cup that most teams, they have that how can I say that, like this thing that they are very competitive and they can win the World Cup. I think, in my opinion, there is 5 teams. South Africa, of course, the last world champion.
Yeah.
England. Oh, is this England? Ireland, France, and New Zealand, I think. Well, what do you think?
I actually think there's 4. I think what the 5 you said, not being pessimistic, but bar England, I don't think England will win it.
Why do you think that?
The thing is, because with the World Cup, on behalf of you, with the World Cup, it's just that tournament where, like I said, it's obviously a tournament where everyone's at the peak, everyone's kind of moving towards that. So obviously 4 years before that, you're building towards it. So everyone's main goal is always a World Cup. So you can't rule out your likes of England, Australia. Do you know what I mean? Even like these teams like Fiji and stuff, who on the day could turn over any team in the world.
Yeah.
But I just think of the form recently, I don't think England would be able to turn over those 4 teams back to back. I think they could beat one of them, don't get me wrong. I think they could beat one of them in a semi-final, but I don't think they'd do it back to back.
I think, I'm not saying you're wrong, because I disagree with that, and I will tell you why. I think I want to start because I'm Argentinian, as everyone knows, and you are English. Mate, how England, finish the last friendly matches before the World Cup against Fiji, against Wales, against even Argentina, the last autumn nations, you could see an English team that it wasn't the best. You had, and I think you have nowadays, the best individual players, but for some reason they couldn't perform as a team. But you had the first World Cup game, and everyone was talking about Owen Farrell is not playing, Marco Vunipola is not playing. And George Ford was, I think, the key of the team, 100%. And I think I'm not going to say I want to compare George Ford and Owen Farrell. I think George Ford always, every, English coach, see Owen Farrell over George Ford, and I don't know why is that. Because I think George Ford, demonstrated to all over the world what he can do, and he did it, mate. He led to England to a game, like a huge win.
Yeah, he did. I you know what? I actually hope you're right that England can pull it off. Because like they definitely, even though they had a crappy or shitty autumn, may I say, and the lead up to the games, although they were terrible, like I said, the quality of the players there is they got, on the day, you've probably got 5 or 6 boys there who could be in a World 15 on the day. You look at your likes of, like, in your forwards, like your Genge, your Toje, your Tom Currys, arguably Billy on his day, and then you look at, again, Ford Farrell at 10 on the day, definitely Manu, and then obviously Freddie Stewart was the team of the year last year. So they've got players there who, when they want to, can be like world-class players, but obviously we just haven't seen that. So I'm obviously only going off what I've seen over the last few months. But don't get me wrong, I think, like you said, I'm going back on myself here. We're going to win it.
Well, but to be honest, if you look into the European teams, England is the only team that won the World Cup once, at least. You know, and I think those players, don't play anymore because it was 20 years ago. But I think England now has this variety between experienced players as Ben Youngs, Owen Farrell even, because he's still, young boy. He's got so much experience. George Ford. But you've got, Stewart, the fullback, who is barely new to the team. He's playing in international level for what, over 2 years, I would say, something like that. Johnny May, who was started the other day, but he went into the squad because it was an injury. So I think if you look over the squad of the English squad, you've got world-class players, but when one day they made a click that we can do this, mate, they can smash any team. That's how I think.
Good. No, I like the confidence. I think England are lucky as well. Obviously, it's known that England and Argentina have the easy side of the ball. So, do you know what I love Argentina. I think they're obviously a great country, a great team, and how they played, especially in the Rugby Championship over the last few years, has made them so much better. But you think England and Argentina will top the group, won't you, first and second, and then we go into the quarter final against Wales or Australia, who again I think on the day Argentina and England could not comfortably, but could beat. Why not?
Yeah.
I'd be scared on the other side of the door. I would. But yeah, I do agree with you. Like we can't beat any team on the day. It'd just be a big challenge when you've got your monsters like your France in their home country, South Africa, who arguably, even though they're not number one, probably are the favourites for the tournament.
Oh,
and then how the beasted Scotland in the second half. It is frightening. But you're right, on the day, anyone can beat anyone. And you see nowadays, especially in the first round with the red card, you see your Tom Kirby red card, you see the two which should have been red cards but weren't. How that can change a game. Obviously, it didn't change a game for Argentina because England won. But again, any other game, if Jesse Creel got red carded against Scotland, I think that could have been a different game. Honestly, do.
I think this is something from the Argentinian perspective. Like, I'm really sad, because I was there in Marseille, and we had all this anxiety, but anxiety on the good way, like we really want to play this match because it's against England. This rivalry that it becomes since maybe the Falkland Islands were, and when it's a football match, rugby match, it's always you want to beat them. But I mean, in a good way, respectfully, with in the laws of the rugby. And you really look forward to that game, and me as a fan going to the game and watch it, it was really disappointed to see a team that as soon as they step into that pitch, it looks like they didn't know what to do. Even more when Tom Curry had the red card at it was 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the game started.
5. I think it was the first 3 minutes.
That's why I give so much credit to the England team and to George Ford, because they prepared the game, the whole week. You had strategies, you had everything, but from one moment to another, mate, you need to change all of that. And he knew how to do it. We didn't know what to do.
Ford was, I think, on his day. To be fair, I would put my hand up. I was the one before the tournament who was a bit critical of George Ford. I thought, unless we get in front of football, I wouldn't have him at 10. But I think he definitely showed at the weekend that how well he can control a game. Yeah. We always knew his skills were one of the best in the world. His kicking, his passing, really good. Obviously some questions around
drop goals. Hello.
Yeah. Obviously some questions around his defence, but when, like I said, if the pack's dominant and he's good off the boot like he was, it shows how well he can manage a game for England, which is obviously a big boost. I've got a question for you.
Go on.
So when Farrell comes back into the team,
yeah,
do you do you put him back into the team? Say we're going to England are going to a quarter final against Australia or Wales. Fowler's not played up until then, although I think he's coming back for the final game. Off that first performance, do you put him back in? And then if not, what would your England backline?
Because I wouldn't like to be on his shoes nowadays. But, Farrell is banned for another game now. And I think because he's the English captain and he's, a huge figure for the players as well, not just for the fans, I think I would put him in, but not as a number 10, as a number 12. Yeah. I would do George Ford as a number 10, Farrell as 12.
Who's your 9?
I'm
throwing you deep end here, because
I would say I like Ben Youngs.
Experienced head?
I think so, yeah, definitely.
That's the same 3 as the England in the World Cup final 4 years ago, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would take off Johnny May, Joe Marchant into the wing.
Manu
with Manu with 13 with Farah's 12.
Fine. Okay.
How would you do it?
Do you know what? I actually don't know. Because there's so much to consider there. Like you've got three good 10s in George, Owen, and Marcus Smith.
Yes.
Which is tough. There's shown in the past that when Smith and Fowler played together, did it work? I don't know. I'm not sure if they gave them enough time personally. So I don't know. If you told me before the tournament, before I saw how George Ford played, that's tough actually. I'd say you could have gone like Smith, Farrell, Tulani. Because I really like Marcus Smith. I think if you give him the keys, just give him the keys to play.
Exactly. I think so. I agree.
I'd have to see them more in person in training and stuff. But if not, if you want to go a bit more of a safer option, I would have gone Fowler at 10 and then played like Manu at 12 and then like Martian or Slade or someone or Ollie Robbins at 13 potentially. Again, I don't know the answer.
I agree with you because Marcus Smith had his opportunities even against Fiji, the last friendly game before the World Cup. And I don't think he led the team for how they should play or, as you say, the keys. He's got the keys for Harlequins, but I think he's missing something for the England team.
Yeah, I get that. But I also think, and I don't know, but I don't think he's given the reins as much at England. You've got players like Favell around him. You've got someone like Steve Borthwick who wants to play probably a bit of a slower kicking game, which doesn't suit him. And the same if you play Favell at 12 and him at 10. They're different players, so you play a different style of rugby, which probably counteracts each other. Where at Harlequins, they're like, right, here are the keys, you do what you want, you organise forwards, we'll play off you. Yeah. And that's why I think Harlequins are exciting to watch. But again, at international rugby, do you want someone with a bit of a safer option like a Ford or a Farrell, and then you bring Smith on for that X factor?
Yeah.
Or do you have the balls to be like, right, mate, just go for it?
That's what the World Cup it is, you would imagine or you would think the best players will step up, that's what
I think England are lucky at the moment to have 3 such good players. It'd always be better for England if one of those boys wasn't playing, because it'd be easier for Steve Borthwick to make a shout, because at the moment it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and we are talking about the backs, mate. You look at the forwards as well. And it's so much class. And you've got experience as Danny Cold. And when you look at Dan, you just think like, man, are you nearly 40 and you're still playing? And how you perform, It's not someone that maybe it will run 50 meters, but it's someone that will give you scrum, like stability on, when you need to reset the game. And someone that it will be there to battle for your team, and he will give the 100%. Doesn't matter what kind of situation you are, and if he's the first 5 minutes or nearly 80.
I won't comment on that. You know a lot more than me playing the front row yourself, so I can't comment from my point of view. Because I play centre off like half, I just see him as like a big a big lazy dog up front who does naff all around the park.
Well, he does
But then,
more than that, mate.
Yeah, I understand. I obviously don't look into that much because when I'm watching the game, I'm not really as bothered. I'm looking more at the playoff, the 10, the centres, how we're playing, how we're moving the ball. I obviously want that more energetic game, and from a fan point of view, I'm like, I want to see us play.
Yeah.
But obviously, like I said, that is crucial. Like your set piece, if you don't have a good set piece, then you have no platform to play off. So I understand why he's obviously getting picked for his obviously his strength and his obviously experience there. And obviously, you've got to back the coach. It's a World Cup match. Like you've obviously got to be good enough, a good player to start for England in a World Cup match. You've got to be a good player. So that's fair enough, isn't it?
Going now to the Argentinian side. Half of the team that the 15 starters, they are players that they play at the Premiership. Gloucester, Leicester, London Irish, but London Irish now doesn't exist anymore. But those players now they are going to play into Saracens, and for me, the best team for like so far ahead to everyone else on the Premiership. And I think what happened, like you had a team between again what happened on the English side, experienced players and really young players that they are really talented, that maybe it's their first World Cup, but having that experience for at least one season, that most of them they are playing against each other with the other English players every weekend, and made the England team just made them disappear like that.
I think, like you said, I think it's one of them games where Argentina just looked a bit shocked, and I don't think they'll play. Even some of the commentators said it. I don't think Argentina will play that bad again, like ever. Like you'll see him. I think you'll see him respond now.
I hope so.
Well, I think you will do. I think they'll go unbeaten in the group now. Well, you got Japan, Chile, Samoa. I think they'll win all those 3 games, and then you're into a quarter final, which is knockout rugby. And I think, like I said, the only way for them is up from that. So I think they'll do better now.
Yeah, leaving that game that I'm more relieved now. It was very painful. I'm not gonna say no. Have you watched the opening game, France-New Zealand?
Oh mate, what a game!
Mate, what a game!
What a game it would be.
First of all, the fastest try in World Cups, it was like minute 2 or something like that for the New Zealand one.
Oh yeah.
I thought mate, New Zealand will kill them. That's what I thought. But France, I think they have something special, mate.
That first try, by the way, was Mark Talia.
Yes.
So the Sevens team I played for, Speranza, shout out. He played for Speranza in a tournament a few years ago.
All right.
And now he's obviously one of the best wingers in the world. He's going for New Zealand.
Wow.
I've not met him personally, but I know a few boys who have seen him playing with him. So
How long ago was that?
off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't think it was that long ago though. I'd like 3, 4, 5 years ago.
What?
Yeah. So
Mate, in 3, 4, 5 years, he went to the All Blacks.
Well, with at the moment the team I play for, they loads of Kiwis. How it all started with a chap in Abu Dhabi, but they had connections in New Zealand.
All right, okay.
And then these 2 brothers, and now they bring players over from New Zealand to play for my team. It's a team who's known for like New Zealand Kiwi boys.
All right, okay.
So they all know each other quite well, and then they come over. So obviously with New Zealand, a lot of the lads play sevens before they play 15s. You look at like Ricaoni, you look at Surveyor. They play sevens before they played 15s.
Oh right, okay.
So a lot of these boys play sevens, and obviously their mix over there in New Zealand is they just jump across.
Yeah.
You don't see that in England, but over there it's good. So yeah, some boys play on the series for New Zealand, and then they'll jump into other elite teams. And going back to the game, mate, what a game!
Do you think was because of the French team made them do that mistakes, or it was New Zealand that didn't have the best game?
I think an element of both, but I think more so France playing well to stop New Zealand playing well. Like I said at the start, New Zealand looked good and looked sharp.
Yeah.
And then I think France, obviously with the home atmosphere, just kept the ball well. Obviously very physical. Set piece was really good. I think they just kind of strangled New Zealand, didn't they, a little bit, and just kind of kept the ball away from them. Again, I don't think New Zealand would have the best they've been. I think they made a few errors, so they could obviously there's a few individual things there they can clear up to make them better.
Yeah.
But I just think France were too good,
Oh,
too
yeah.
physical, too fit.
I mean, that could be easily the final. If you look at 2 World Cups ago, that was the final, 2011. In New Zealand, France, and that's why I think this idea come like I think this World Cup is where everything, or you've got many teams that they could be champions, and this is very like they are very side to side, and it's just one mistake that could just throw everything away.
100%. That's why I think it's when you ask people an opinion of who's going to win, obviously you can have your opinion, but no one knows.
No.
Because, like I said, there's 4 or 5 teams who could win it, realistically. And then after that, like I said, red cards, a couple of handed levers, a mistake from the referee, so many factors which determine who wins a rugby game.
Yeah.
And like I said, France could play New Zealand 10 times, and I reckon it'd be 50-50. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
But I think, France, home World Cup, I think your home advantage adds 5-10 points.
Yeah, and we can't forget that also France play without Tamac.
Yeah.
That I'm not saying I can't remember the number 10, the name of the number 10, but yeah, him. But without saying like he's a really bad player, because for a reason he's playing a World Cup. But I think Tamac with Dupont, they were the key for the French team, and they could step ahead in New Zealand without Tamac, and I think it's a huge loss for them. But France is France, and I think is one of the candidates to win the World Cup, and they are the host. So
I think I agree. I think Tamac is a big loss, but at the same time, similar to England, you get a Favell or you get like a ban or an injury to say like Favell, then someone like Ford or Marcus Smith steps up. I think the same with Halliday, like he just steps up and does the job, and we've got such a good framework around how they play that he can just sit in there. Then obviously having Dupont, who's probably arguably the best player in the world at the moment, as your 9, that helps a lot. And then obviously you got a big pack. You got players like Olivon and Aldred who are just on his shoulder. They didn't even have Dante playing the 12. He's again, Dante and Vicky are arguably the form centre in the world at the moment. So they've obviously got a lot of good players around the whole team, don't they? So
I think definitely nowadays, when you put your 15s, you need to think also on your replacements. Like the ones at the end of the bench. I think nowadays you win a game with 23 players, now with 15. I think if you don't have that, that players on the bench that they can make that difference, I think if you win that game, it's because you were lucky. I think that's what I think nowadays. You need to have it 23 players, not 15.
what do they? Because South Africa have what do they call their bench? They have a name, don't they?
What's the name?
The bomb squad.
Yeah, the bomb squad. Yeah,
So again, obviously got a bit of a name for it, but that shows how important it is. Because they, even before the World Cup, they had a 7-1 split on the bench, didn't they? They had 7 forward on the bench and 1 back, which I don't think they'll do now, but it shows the importance of, well, A, your bench, but B, how important your pack and being physically dominant and just aggressive and physical is in rugby now. You don't win the physical battle, you're out.
Exactly. You just said, the physicality that, you need to have on your team. And I think South Africa, it's the best team in terms of physicality, who always will try to win through the forwards. And after that, just play with the backs. I think nowadays they are playing more with the backs.
Did you watch the game? The South Africa Scotland?
Yeah. It was really, really intense, because also Manila Bok, he missed a few penalties as well. So all the time was really close, and I couldn't believe Scotland. The first half, they were smashed their scrum to South Africa, the best team in the world. That you think, oh man, they will smash me, having Etebet, Malcolm Marks, But also on the other side, apart of forwards, you've got all the backs that made
Mate, you look at,
so fast.
mate, if you look at the centres, obviously Jesse Creel and Delandy, they're like the two biggest blokes. They could play back row.
Yeah.
But the shape and size on them, they're just one of the two back rowers who, over the game line, the fit, the physical, get over. Do you know what I mean? They got those boys who just
flankers.
bully. But then you got boys like Faf and the Buck, and then like Chevron Colby, who can just run ring around people as well.
Mate, I think Cheslin Colby is just from a different planet, mate. He's like, what, 5 foot? 10 foot, whatever. But he's huge. He's a fridge, I would say. But so explosive, mate. In 1 second, he can be just 10 meters away from you.
He could sidestep you in the post box, couldn't he?
Yeah.
In the post box, in the telephone box. He's probably, obviously, one of the best wingers in the world right now.
Oh, yeah. I would say the best, personally.
And there's some good ones. You look at Peno for France,
Yeah.
Will Jordan for New Zealand. Who else is up there?
But for me, I think he's the best because of how long he's been on that level as well. Yeah. Like, I don't want to compare it with football, but like Messi, he's getting old. But these kind of players in any sport, I think you can say they are the best, or in my opinion, because they were on that level for a really long time.
Faster than the level, isn't he? He's got all the attributes, and he just adds that, like you said, physicality, which a lot of nines don't bring.
Yeah.
I think DuPont's got a little bit. But that's what makes him a fast standout. They've got that edge to the game where if they need to hit a ruck or make a tackle to save a try, you'd rely on them to do so. So it's impressive.
Yeah, I think that's why he's got the number 9 as well, on his back. And I think something important that happened that game. So Scotland and South Africa played the day after that. England and Argentina played at the same stadium in Marseille. The game between Argentina and England that we were talking before, the red card for Tom Curry, because it was a head-to-head tackle, so a high tackle. That happened, the day after. I think it was Allott make a tackle to a Scottish player, head-to-head contact, and the TMO didn't even review that situation. So, do you think it's fair?
No, it's not at all. And you know what? I don't actually think it was a referee's fault because, well, I don't know if he saw it. If he did see it, well, he obviously didn't see it because he should have gone to the TMO.
Yeah, of course,
But
yeah.
I think the TMO should be looking at that and thinking, do you know what I mean? You can watch replays. Obviously, somehow missed it, but I remember watching it live, and Jamie Ritchie, the Scotland captain, said to the referee, "Are you going to check the tackle head on head?" And the referee, I think, he just dismissed it and said, "I'm refereeing the game. I'm refereeing the game." But I think subconsciously, well, the TMO should be looking at that because it's a red card. It's exactly the same. Maybe not as much force to Tom Curry's,
But
exactly the same
situation, mate.
Exactly the same. It happened in the Chile-Japan game as well.
Yeah.
But again, that is such a crucial thing, which I think, like I mentioned before, I think that changes the game.
Do you think, at that time, during the game, nothing happened, but do you think at least they should review that, like, after the game, but nowadays, this week, they should give him something?
It's hard. It's so hard, isn't it? I think it's obviously down to the officials on the day that they've made a mistake. If they've not seen it, how the hell they haven't, I don't know. Because if it's on TV and we can see it and it's on replays, then the TMO should see it. So I think potentially could you go back and be like, it's a red card offence and give them a ban, but to that player, was it Delandy or Creel, one of those two? But then at the same time, that's almost a bit of an insult to Scotland, being like, it was a red card. That'd piss all their fans off massively and Scott the team. You're like, you missed a red card, now you ban him. So I think potentially, do they do that? I don't know if they can do that now. Can they do it? Can they do it after the game?
I don't know. I don't think so. To be honest, because now the day that we are recording this is Thursday. That happened on Sunday, so like 4 days ago.
I've not heard anything come out that they've
No.
banned it, and I've not heard anything come out about the officials apologising either. If it was,
No,
I don't know if
nothing.
it's gone under the carpet and they've just left it. But
That's so bad.
what
mate.
do you think? Do you think he
But
get banned after?
I think he should. I think he should because again that's not fair. And if the law says head-to-head contact, red card because of the safety and how dangerous could be, because you can have a concussion and in the future it can be really dangerous for you as a person, not just because of the sport. It's how the law is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the officials should put their hand up and say, look, we made a mistake, we missed it.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do now, but we're going to sanction the player, and he's going to get a 2. So someone like Curry, England won, so it didn't affect them. But imagine if England lost that game,
Yeah.
and then that happened in South
Oh
Africa.
man, that would be.
Scotland would be livid. So I think it would be fair to ban him after, but I don't know if they will.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, it was all over the media, and, everyone was saying, like, you should look at it, and, okay, if you didn't, you should have a sanction after the game. Again, nothing happened, and I think it's really bad, and I think also look worse, because we're in the World Cup. It's not like it was Autumn Nations or, I don't know, any friendly game, and, okay, it happened. Man, we're in the World Cup. So
Yeah,
I think
this is
that's a huge mistake.
This is a pinnacle of players, coaches, fans' careers, and now there's no excuse. You got all the cameras in the world,
Exactly.
and I don't think. I think even like I said, the Scotland captain. I remember asked the referee. He said, "Sir, there was a head-on-head. Are you going to check it?" And he just kind of neglected it and was like, "No."
Yeah.
So I
that
think
was bad.
I don't know. I think the captain can. I think as a captain, you can be honest with the referee and be like, "Sir, that's if other players, no, you got to stay away
Yeah.
from it." But captain, I think that's fair play from Jamie Ritchie to be like, "Ref,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is a decision which could affect our World Cup." Scotland, I don't think Scotland will get out of the group now. I don't think they'll beat Ireland,
No.
and now they could have. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they can. I think it's really difficult to say because going to the Ireland game, man, they smashed Romania.
Oh,
Over 80 points.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Like,
obviously Ireland are very good. World number 1. Can you judge them on that performance? Probably not, because they're not playing against a team who are obviously not up to it.
yeah, no, of course, but like, yeah, of course, Romania is not the same level as they are not even the tier 1, but 80 points.
Mate, I think you'll be surprised. I think you'll see a lot more of that this weekend. France playing Uruguay, New Zealand
True.
playing Namibia.
Yeah,
And have you seen the team?
Maybe.
Have you seen the New Zealand team?
yeah, 14 changes, I think.
Well, but have you seen the changes who are coming in?
Oh no,
Mate,
not
so like Vitalik Whitelock. They have Damien McKenzie at 10. I think Bowden's still at 15. Got like Leonard Brown in the centre. Like boys who are still more than capable of, well, who have won World Cups.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're playing Namibia, who, no offence to Namibia, probably got the shags out. Like they're gonna get walloped, aren't they? So that could be 80. I think you'll see a high score this weekend. Honestly,
Well, England now plays against Japan. I think that would be really. I mean, England should win, but I think it would be closer than New Zealand, Namibia.
England down.
Oh, yeah.
England down. Tina. I would say, who do you think, if we go through each group? I know we've got a good indication already
Yeah.
from the first game. Who are your top 2 of each
I
group?
would say, of course, the Group A, France and New Zealand. I would say, because you've got Italy, Uruguay, and Namibia. Yeah, Italy, I don't think can beat them. Definitely not.
No.
For the Group B, you've got who's got Group B?
Ireland.
Ireland, South Africa. I think Ireland and South Africa are the ones that they are going through. Unfortunately for Scotland, I think they won't make it this year. It's what happened to Argentina. Last World Cup, we were with England, France, and Argentina, and we couldn't even make it for the last 16. But yeah, I think Scotland unfortunately won't make it. For our group, I think now England, first one, hopefully Argentina, second one, and for the last group, I think it will be Wales, and
This is a big one.
It's between Fiji or
Australia.
so
And they play on Sunday.
exactly.
Who you shouting? Who you saying?
Well,
Fiji got that beast in them now after that Wales game.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you wouldn't expect Fiji to play that well. They nearly win the game.
Mate, athletes.
Exactly.
Athletes.
The commentators were saying nowadays go to play against Fiji. It's the same preparation that you're gonna play against South Africa. They are fast. They are strong. They are maybe a little bit disorganized, but the other day they demonstrated that, mate, they can beat you. You know.
100%.
And they are all, I'm not gonna say really world-class players, but they play on the best leagues in the world. You know.
I think they're the two teams you'd hate to play against, South Africa and Fiji, purely for the physical aspect.
Yeah.
You know you're getting physical aspect with England, Argentina, New Zealand. You're getting that, but I think the Saffers and Fiji, next level. And Fiji, just the amount of just pure size, even the bench, every player is like powerful. Do you know what I mean? Every player, you're thinking he could run over me or hit me hard here. So that's scary. But that's a big game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a hard one because I like Australia. They're not performing really well. But the other day, you know, which I said, Fiji demonstrated, and it was really exciting. They nearly beat Wales. Like,
I'd love Fiji to beat Australia, and then Australia to beat Wales, and Wales to go out on points.
oh, mate.
I'd love it to be Australia, Fiji. But then England could have a tough quarterfinal.
Yeah, talking about the Fiji and Wales game. Mate, Randrandra, what a player, mate. What a player. And it's not just because how physical he is and how fast he is. He can also, and he, you know, when he played for Bristol, he demonstrated as well. The offloads that he can make, you know, when he's in a really difficult position. I'm not going to compare him with Sonny Bill Williams, but, mate, have you seen the second try? He was falling over, and magically he just put his hands out and threw a huge pass.
Their skill set again is unbelievable. I think Fiji is similar to New Zealand in terms of, I'm going back to the sevens as well.
Yeah.
That they kind of breed them up through the sevens, so the skills and the flair is outrageous. Again, I was playing a few months ago in a tournament in Ireland, and I was playing against a team called the Swifties, who were full of Fijian lads, and one or two, I can't remember the names, but two of them who played in the final when we lost the game in the final, and I played the whole game. Two of them who played against us got called up to the sevens squad a few weeks later to play at the HSB sevens at Twickenham.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so mate, there's little me playing against these international sevens players, and mate, again, just crazy. Even like someone like me who's not really a sevens player, just playing against these lads, like mate, they are crazy. Just the speed, the power, the ball skills, the ability to offload. You'd be scared playing against them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like I said, the organisation, the structure's not there, and game management might not be as good. But over the past few years, obviously the infrastructure of the game in Fiji, sevens, 15s, the coaching,
they improved a lot.
the set piece is better. Do you know what I mean? The skills are obviously really good. It's just like they said, little tweaks where maybe little mistakes or little things where they might throw it when they shouldn't do, but they were forced to be.
Do you think they can keep that level? Like now, you say they're going to play against Australia. Do you think they can keep that level? Because they always, you know, were running from behind. Or Wales always, you know, was winning the game, and yeah, they nearly win it, but they never were in front.
Yeah.
Do you think they can keep that level and make Australia, I'm gonna say suffer, but like suffer in the way, like, you know, physicality? Personally, I don't think they can keep that for 80 minutes.
Yeah. Apart from like your New Zealand, your South Africa, even saying that, apart from South Africa and Ireland, this is my opinion, I think they're the two teams who I think would definitely beat them. But I think Fiji on the day could turn over any other team on the day.
Yeah.
But like I said, where I agree with you is, can they do that consistently? I'm not sure if they could. Like I said, they could. I think they could turn over Australia. I think they could go and win a quarter final and beat someone because it's a one-off game. The flair, the energy. I think they could win some big one-off games, but then to back that up in a semi-final and then to back that up again if they got there to like a final, I don't think they have that at the moment. But I think they could, like I said, it's shame. I think they should have beaten Wales.
Yeah.
Even though they were behind, they still should have won. But yeah, it's that question around consistency in it over the full 80 minutes, which is the one thing which might let them down. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really interesting first round to see, you know, which teams maybe they look good. You know, as we say, you've got France that they beat New Zealand, but New Zealand is New Zealand, you know. 3 times world champion, and I think for me, the best team in the world, just, you know, by so far. You've got England that came to the World Cup, you know, not knowing what's going to happen, and they just flip it like that. And now, come on, England, you know.
Come on, England.
Yeah. Argentina that definitely, you know, was defeated by England, but it's a team that I'm not going to say. I mean, I wish that we can win our first World Cup, but we are on the pitch that we need to back to our bases. But I think, again, we can beat any team in a good day.
How did Argentina do in the Rugby Champs just gone?
We finished 3rd, I think. Yeah.
Over
Yeah,
Australia?
over Australia.
Did
yeah,
you beat
because
South Africa or New Zealand?
we beat Australia and we beat New Zealand, South Africa. No, we didn't. Just Australia. But in the last 2 years, we beat New Zealand twice.
Yeah.
That we never done it before.
Fine. Well, there you go. Like
So-
you said, Argentina could play Wales or Australia or Fiji in a quarter-final, which is a winnable game. And
Yeah.
then you'd be into a semi where, again, it's rugby.
To finish this, I want you to give me your predictions for the next round. What do you think? We've got France Uruguay tonight. I
Okay,
think
we're going
easy.
back. We're giving a points difference as well.
Yeah, go on then. Why not?
Okay. So am I going to say? Then you're going to say
Okay, yeah, go on then.
France by 38
They win by 38.
points.
I would say more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say by 50.
Too far. Yeah, probably more actually.
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, Uruguay, South American, I follow a little bit of their news because their coach is from my club.
Oh really?
So he's Argentinian and he's from my club. And, you know, I was reading on the news that he said,
They're rubbish.
no, not the rubbish, but, you know, their goals for this World Cup is to win against Italy and Namibia,
Okay.
is to win that games. So you don't know if you will see an Uruguayan team trying to beat France or trying to see what happens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
They'll get thumped.
either way, I think it will be easily over 50 points.
Yeah, fine. Or maybe I'm going higher. Maybe I say 48.
As we say, Fiji, Australia.
I think Fiji by 7. I think Australia are good, and I watched them against who did they play in the first round? Georgia.
What, Australia, Georgia,
Yeah, they were a lot better than Georgia, so I thought they were good. And like I said, they're a different beast in a World Cup. But I just think Fiji, fire in the belly after the Wales game. I just think, it's just something thinks. I think they'll beat them. What about you?
Well, to give you some controversy, I will go for Australia. But I will go by 3 or 4 points.
It's quite a tight game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I think it's because of what we saw, you know, Fiji against Wales, you know.
Yeah.
And you just said they can just win a game in a good day. And we're in the World Cup nowadays. So, England against Japan.
Again, I'll have to see the team, but I'll say I think England will win quite comfortably.
Do you think comfortably?
I think so. I say England by 20.
By 20? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. To be honest, I agree.
But I think Japan are okay. I don't think they've been up to much in the
No,
in the
they've been
off-season.
improving a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were good last World Cup, weren't they? But what I've heard in the past few years, I don't know they've been doing that much. I don't know. I don't know how many internationals are playing in like Japan. Well, look at your England, Six Nations. We're probably obviously Argentina, New Zealand. You're probably playing. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
10, 15 odd test matches every year. I don't think Japan are playing that many. So they're
No, not really. But yeah, I agree. I think I would say if George Force wake up the same way that did against Argentina, I would say by 30 points easily.
yeah. Fine.
Without many drop goals, the more plays. I want to see more tries.
The only thing I'm scared about with England is if they're not under that intense pressure of playing against a tough team or playing against like a team with a man down, will they have to switch it on? Will they still switch it on? Do you know what I mean? But time will tell.
Yeah, and I would go for, of course, Argentina against Samoa, Argentina. But
Yeah,
I need to be more precautious now. I would go, we win by 10.
Yeah.
With playing so much better than how would you do
Yeah, I
against
think you'll win
England?
like 29-14 or something.
Hopefully.
Something like that.
Hopefully. Anyway, mate, really, really good to have you here. Thank you very much for coming. Everyone can follow Tom. How can they find you?
Instagram at Tommy Allott, or if you're interested in the fitness stuff, A2 Functional Fitness. But no, thanks for having me on. It's been a great chat. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Hope you guys enjoyed and see you next time.